Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Season 2, Week 4 of Women's League. My name is the Russian Cthulhu. Once again, I'm joined by the wonderful Pi. How you doing?
I am good, thanks. How are you doing tonight, Cthulhu?
Yeah, actually doing pretty good. I'm feeling quite pumped for the matches tonight, and we got uh, an interesting set, actually, as a matter of fact. But before we get into that, all the juicy details, we got a quick ad as well to run you all by. It's the ZQ Racing MVP. So whichever team that will have their MVP at the end of the season come out victorious, they will also be in to win the wonderful V6 Racer gaming chair that is worth quite a fair few dollary dues and, well, looks pretty comfy as well. But let's take a look at the leaderboard as well, how things been shaping up as well. So far, I mean, we've had a pretty well defined kind of top two, if not the top four. Any kind of thoughts on that, Pi?
Well, if we look at the stats, it's actually really interesting to see that these teams are sort of bunched up together with Elevate and Kingswomen sort of almost taking first and second into their own realm, battling it out, seeing who will ultimately come out on top. And then in the
Mm-hmm.
next cluster, we have EXO and Forbidden going for the third and fourth place because it just looks so close between. And the games that we're going to be watching tonight, 71st, Queen Bees, and Enix, they're also in their own class, trying to, desperately be that fifth place instead of the bottom two.
Yeah, and all those three teams at the bottom of the leaderboard will have that chance to really get out of that kind of, I suppose, the bottom two. I'm not too sure if there will be a relegation, but nonetheless, still try to get slightly higher positioning as well. For 71st, this will be a very solid chance as well to kind of solidify their position on that fifth place tonight as well. And, well, let's also have a look at that first match where we will be seeing 71st play it out. I believe it will be also against Enix, if my memory serves me right. So yeah, there it is. Enix versus 71st, the sixth place versus the fifth place currently for 71st. Any kind of initial thoughts before we kind of dig deeper into all the nitty gritty?
Well, I think the 71st might have a slight advantage in this case, just purely going by stats. They have one
Hmm.
win under their belt, whereas Enix, I wouldn't say it's a loss. They do have a draw under their belt, but, it's not a win. It's not the win that they want. However, if we look at the round difference between the two, between 71st and Enix, there's actually not a big round difference. This match tonight could go either way, really. So it's up to time to tell.
Yeah, and with 71st as well. Yeah, they were able to kind of play against some of the kind of, I suppose, lower end teams as well. They played against Queen Bees where it was a 7-4, so that's one of the ways to kind of indicate that they can potentially have a really close game here as well against Enix. So time will tell. But let's take a look at the Enix's roster here first and kind of talk a little bit more in depth about them as well. They have been seeing, yeah, like you said, a single draw, and that draw was against Queen Bees, who are currently on the sixth place in a leaderboard. Any kind of thoughts about kind of the roster in general?
So we haven't actually quite seen anyone from Enix, really perform as flashy or as amazing as some of the top two teams that we've seen from Elevate and Kingswomen. But it is interesting to note once again that they do have a coach, Gluttony. Every time you have a coach in play, you don't know how much they're going to be improving every single week because it's the coach's job to, sort of suss out the VODs from the other teams, potentially, seeing as this is NX's game, potentially against 71st. Oh yeah, against 71st, maybe get some intel, maybe, see how the players work. So it'd be interesting to see how they play.
Yeah, I'm genuinely quite curious. But also, let's take a look at the contenders. The team that will be trying to keep their fifth spot. That is the 71st. Like you mentioned, that they might have a little bit of an advantage here, but comparative to Enix, they're
I think that you should come back home. Come back home.
I've been thinking about you lately, and all the places that you could take me. Why you so shy? You got me going wild, 'cause I've been saying that you got it, baby, give it to me. See my lightning, you gonna feel my thunder. Show me how you do it, come on baby, say it louder. Got you on my mind now, let me see your style. I'm on my way tonight, oh yeah, yeah. 'Cause I think about you, you. 'Cause I think about what I think about you. I wanted to make you see that you were the one for me, but there was enough, 'cause you're up and down and then everything's the same. Baby, how do I make you listen? Don't wanna be through, 'cause I wanna put you, baby, you and me tonight. Don't need to behave, gonna take me away, baby. Till one more time. And the thought of you drives me crazy. You don't need to worry, 'cause you know that you got me. Cause I think about you, you. 'Cause I
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again. Sorry for a little bit of a technical difficulty there. We are back though once again. So, quick recap before we'll get to the matchup. It is Enix versus 71st. Any kind of quick recap that we could have here, Pi?
I think I briefly mentioned that 71st definitely has an advantage for going into this game against Enix, seeing as 71st do have one win under their belt, whereas Enix only has one draw. Both teams have the same number of losses, so it really could go either way, Just because 71st have a win, it doesn't mean that they, for sure have this in the bag. So, yeah, just a quick recap.
Yeah. So everything could pretty much really happen here. So we'll have to see how things will really work out. Quickly, let's take a look as well at the map that we are going to be playing as well. Here's the map bands as well. Here it is going to be Clubhouse.
It's not a map that we haven't seen a few times before, so this is sort of like a fan favorite and a team favorite popping up once again. We'll be seeing, actually, if I'm not wrong, I'll be seeing Enix on the defender side. We'll be seeing 71st on the attacking side. So, Cthulhu, do you have any thoughts about what's to expect?
Well, I would imagine that the Enix being on defense here for the first half, I would imagine that they will be the ones to kind of gun for that, that kind of point advantage, I suppose. On the defense, obviously, things could really go any way. I mean, high school league proved that to us as well, that attack can be also very, very dominant on Clubhouse if done right. So, honestly, if we are sticking to kind of the similar meta, I would imagine that first half could either go to 4-2 or 3-3 between these two teams, and kind of the second half will be kind of the big decider as to how would 71st handle the defense, and how will Enix essentially handle their offense as well.
Yeah, I think these rounds could go either way based on, as you said, the strength of the defense when the attack meets it, I guess, and the strength of the attack. And if both defense and attack are equally strong, then I guess I would say this would probably go towards more a defender-sided map. That's if both teams are equally strong on both sides. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what rounds each team can snag away from each other.
Yeah. Plus, this is Enix's chance to really get out of that bottom of the leaderboard spot, as well as even at this point, even a draw would essentially put them right above Queen Bees as well. So a step closer to getting out of the bottom two. For 71st, yeah, at this point, even a draw would pretty much suffice.
Yeah, if 71st is able to get another win under their belt, this could really help them consolidate that fifth position.
I believe so, yes.
Yes, fifth. Yeah, and it would greatly improve, based on how many rounds they win as well, it greatly improve their round difference as well. So, all in all, both teams have a lot to gain from a win. So, wants to see two teams really try at it.
Yeah. But yeah, Clubhouse should definitely be very, very close one. Let's take a quick look as well, and a quick fly through of all of the sites presented to you by our wonderful sponsors at Computer Alliance, ZQ Racing, Quantum Energy, and Ubisoft. And yeah, this should be a banger of a matchup, as we will finally get into the match after a few of the tech issues. But yeah, 71st on attack. Curious, really, how will the scoreline would look, because we saw a few times when we would be calling the matchup being fairly close, and then all of a sudden it's just complete domination from one or the other team. So maybe 71st could really turn up here, given that you pointed out as well. Well, it's pointed the fact that they might be having quite a fair bit of chemistry, at the very least some unity, with the way the fact that they are wearing tags, so they have been obviously the very least playing together for a fair bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see the second attacker ban come out. The first one, Thatcher, is quite standard on a map like Clubhouse. Normally we would expect something like a Maverick even. Yeah. There's a second ban, Maverick, Jackal, Nomad. Those have popped up, but Knock is quite interesting. Though I do want to say there have been instances where Knock has been picked, so I say this isn't such a bad ban after all. Maybe.
Yeah, she can definitely, if played right, with the kind of the attacking flanking play, she has the pretty decent loadout plus the frag grenades as well, so she could definitely throw a spanner in the works of the defense if at the right time and at the right position. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's not a bad idea to ban her out, but definitely an unorthodox, you could say, ban.
Very standard bans on the defense, however. Mirror Echo, no surprise there. You see that on every single map. Just to expect it.
Yeah. And we are going to be kicking things off on CCTV, as per usual, looking at the general lineup, seeming to be just about as stock standard as it gets, really, for the defense, at least until the 6th pick would come around. Any kind of thoughts on either one of the rosters for this matchup?
Oh, I think it's actually quite a very standard lineup, You have the IQ for the Valkyrie, you have the Nomad for the Flank Watchers, you have obviously the 2 hard breaches, and you have soft breacher Ash, who's also
Defenders,
a really
protect
great
your bombs from being
entry
defused
as
by
well.
attackers.
So really surprising on the attack side. On the defense, you have the one high. Interesting to see that there's no Jaeger, however, that's the only curious thing. But having, instead of a Jaeger, I think that's where the smoke comes into play. So, all in all, not a bad position to start off with.
Yeah. I'm curious how will the Valkyrie pick as well on Mint would work out here, because she can provide quite a plentiful amount of information, but with the fact that IQ is in the play, I would imagine that those Valkyrie cameras wouldn't really stay around for long, albeit that is a very nice position that Mint just hit her camera in CCTV. So yeah, I'm also quite curious as well about that, the fact that there's no Jaeger pick per se, and with Womai playing offside, obviously not going to be a whole lot of projectile denial there, at least for the time being. So yeah, a few I would say questionable, but not really kind of picks that I'm just rather curious how will the overall synergy would really work out here.
Yeah, normally you see like the Womai playing in boxes where Mint is right now as a Valkyrie, purely because his magnets will recharge over time and he can toss out quite a few during the time where, until he maxes it out. So putting him in some place where you see a lot of high traffic with grenades or gadgets or projectiles is quite common. And can Daddy Maddie see the head of Mint? I don't think she quite can. Mint doesn't seem to realize that Daddy Maddie is onto her.
I don't think either one of the players are actually onto each one another, so that is going to be interesting to see whatsoever at all. But the moment that thermite charge is going to go down, surely the Valkyrie will make a move, or at the very least, I would have at the very least expected that.
And even if Daddy Maddie can't see anything right now, she's still holding quite a good angle. She's able to pretty much cut off all position that Mint is able to move. Mint's guarded from all sides.
Yeah, Mint is definitely going to be feeling quite nice and secure. Oh, that's a little bit of a risky run through. Toki will be punishing Yoshi pretty nice and quickly, and well, it's already the breach charge, but I believe it was a little bit of a late one there. The breach has been already done. But, ooh, good trade between Weasel and Mint, actually, as they trade headshots.
I think that was possibly the best on all sides. Able to get an instant trade like that is quite good.
Sure is. There is about to be a two-player push on the red stairs, and there's the first engagement coming through. Cheesebender finding Glaze, so that is back to 3 versus 3, but quickly traded out. Toki doing a fantastic job there on the Ash.
Daddy Maddie getting that pick onto Patan. So this is just all up to hard exposed. Last player alive. She doesn't manage to do it. Setting first, taking that first round, excellent spot for the attackers, and this is something that we were talking about. Clubhouse is a defender-sided map once you can get the strats down, But against a really strong attack, this really could go either way, and this is exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, the breach was very quick. The way how 71st were able to kind of collapse around the site and below the site was just fairly clinical. So yeah, everything just looked really nice and well communicated within the attacking team. On the side of defense, though, it felt like there were a few crickets kind of that could be heard.
Yeah, I think being forced out of a position that will mine, when you can't shoot the drone like that, you shouldn't be running out into
Attackers need to
space
locate
like that.
and defuse
Just
as many bombs as they
picked off
can.
without any real value, I would say. But obviously, you can say that when you're under stress, when there's a drone marking you, your first reaction is just to bolt it.
Just run. Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree. So there could have been a few differences. I would have personally probably just tried to swing and see if I can at least take somebody with me. But yeah, a whole lot of things could have happened, didn't really happen, so it's only a single round for the time being, so maybe Enix will be able to make a comeback here on the church. Given that church, I would say probably is a little bit more favorable for the defenders rather than CCTV, with slightly maybe less of a strat, as long as you can kind of hold on for the a bit more of a kind of turtle hold, but you should be fine.
It'd be interesting to see how 71st would go about taking all the hatches down, seeing as XPWL is on the K. If that K charge is placed on the hard hatch, I don't see a really plausible way for 71st to go around this, seeing as there's no Thatcher, and the IQ could possibly shoot it, but if it's on the hard hatch, she wouldn't be able to. How the breach it's already been open, very early start for 71st. Let's see if we can get any value out of this.
Yeah, right now, well, the main value that they got is that there's going to be no contention whatsoever in the dirt tunnel, so that is very quick entry and potentially another angle that could be contested, while the rest of the team will be trying to get a few more openers here. Interestingly enough, that it's the supply room hatch that has been kited, and then there's another kite charge in the kitchen rather, hatch, and there's some vertical play by Mint. Phenomenal angle as well, gotta say.
I think she actually used a nitro cell to open up that angle.
Yeah, I was trying to find where that nitro charge exploded. I was like, huh, that's not on the side. I wonder where that was. Well, I guess I got my answer here.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a little bit of a wasted resource, but if she could get that double kill,
uh-oh.
Mint taking some shots down onto Daddy Matty. Daddy Matty is one bullet away from joining Glaze, down in that spectator screen.
Yeah, that could have been a huge frag there for Mint. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to really finish off the Hibana, but right now it's Toki who is actually on that hunt and will be able to actually hunt down the Valkyrie without losing too much health. So we're back to a 4 versus 4, but yeah, that is a huge amount of damage on Daddy Matty.
Yeah, and seeing as Mint is playing upstairs like that, I would probably wager that having a nitro cell up in the top floor wouldn't be as useful. So I guess putting it down on the ground, making some more angles is, I guess, a good play to make.
Curious that not a single person is actually in the dirt tunnel. All 3 of these 71st roster has just stacked up on the main stairs and potentially just might try to push the memorial room.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be looking for a glitch. She's better than right. She's off and about. She's got to reload. Toki getting that pick onto XPWL exactly. Oh, it wasn't.
Seconds to go.
It was the Weasel. It is a 3. Yeah, it was a double swing as well. Fantastic play though by Heart Explodes, being able to find another frag for herself. All down to Daddy Matty, the tagged up Hibana, and even she will not be able to take it out. There we go. Enix managing to bring it back for themselves.
Yeah, I think theoretically, that was a really good play by the attackers to double swing like that. Even that, it caught me off guard. But I think standing on the crate like that when you're arcade is quite a very common angle to play, especially when you're wanting to trick the hatch, I guess. It puts you really close to the hatch, and it puts you at an angle where the attackers won't expect it unless they properly droned you out. Speaking of that dirt that you were saying where they weren't actually pushing down, I do want to say that maybe it was to have a little bit of perceived pressure where, I seen that barricade onto dirt was actually open. So maybe, as a defender, you'd be like, someone's in dirt. I'm not sure if they're still in dirt, but they were in
Attackers need to
dirt.
locate
So
and
knowing
defuse
that,
bombs.
those angles that dirt provides would be sort of threatening for you as a defender, and you would be less inclined to keep it, even if there is actually no one in it, as usual.
Yeah, that could have been the play there, and well, probably all dissipated the moment Enix realized that all four of them are pretty much just going in for the swing. But yeah, nonetheless, yeah, that's a very valid idea, very valid thought about it. So yeah, well, unfortunately for 71st, that didn't really work out, so now they will have to attack
10
the
seconds to
gym. Even though CCTV was still on the table
5
there to
seconds
be
to go.
picked by Enix, but it seems that they're just trying to just kind of roll through their
Attackers
full
must
rotation of the
locate
sites
and
before
defuse
they
the bomb.
play. And interestingly enough, logistics is fully reinforced, so there's no rotation holes, no peak holes at all, and instead it's just going to be a bit more of a passive one and no reinforcements in the cache and CCTV, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I think Hard Explosive is in an exceptionally vulnerable position right now. None of the walls around her are really reinforced, and I don't believe she's got any rotations out of that room either. So,
Well, apart from that doorway, yeah.
apart from the doorway, yes. I wouldn't call that a rotation though.
True. My bad.
So I'm surprised to see that 71st isn't actually capitalizing on it. Don't see an Ash instantly opening up that CCTV wall. You want to spot out the weaknesses in any team that you're attacking, any team that you're attacking, and to not capitalize on that, instead going for the more traditional push, I guess, opening up that push into spot, which is still a valid push.
It's not bad, yeah. I'm curious with the fact that now from this very angle, actually, Enix might have a really solid amount of positions to hold, really, and with the fact that Hard Explosive has finally rotated out of the cache, there's going to be much more cover to play around with, minus Cheesebender, as she is a bit of a pickle there behind the training equipment, but still, a cover is a cover, I suppose, so might just be able to play it out.
A bomb has been located.
I don't think that anyone's got their eyes locked onto Cheesebender yet. That window wasn't covered. So could be talking just missing
It's certainly quite off, or rather odd, what was happening, but phenomenal peek by Yoshi to kick things off, and that is a frag onto Nomad without, I believe, her using any kind of utility as well.
I think it's actually Yoshi getting that double kill onto Weasel. That's the thermite taken down as well.
Now it's all down to the 3-player push as Min, I believe, just got spotted around the corner, and Glaze does find a shot as well. Toki also opens up, and this has been turned around really quickly in favor of 71st, but Yoshi is still there. Yoshi's actually on a flank and could score a very nice double kill if she can land her shots. She does know there's a full amount of players, and just decides to prematurely fire off, and well, now her position will be exposed.
Loading new magazine!
Manages to down Daddy Mine, which is an excellent hit for Yoshi.
15
Now
seconds
technically it's a 2v2. Yoshi with that triple kill right
Attackers are
at the last
activating the
one.
bomb diffuser.
Blaze taking down Yoshi. And it's...
That's a double.
Yep, that's a double. And it's the time being the final death.
Yep. It was Pot and Dirtle. That was the last player standing, and well, 71st, once again, managing to pretty much recover themselves really well after the initial trade-off that was done by Yoshi in a really confident manner. Unfortunately, all of that effort was in vain.
Yeah, I think Yoshi might have been a little too rushed, I would say, in the flank, not being able to identify properly the positions of the people that she was flanking on, and hence not being able to net that double kill, which could have been so round-changing for them.
It could have been absolutely huge if she would have kept it a little bit more sneaky for just a few more seconds, just to get the clear shot and
Attackers need to locate
then
and
go in
defuse
for the flank,
bombs.
because that way she would have had a little bit more momentum, probably would have been able to get the full triple but alas, unfortunately it didn't happen. But there's still a few more chances to really play it out. The two teams were still able to really keep themselves pretty well composed, so
Attackers have discovered the
props to
location
both
of a
of them.
bomb.
Yeah, it was actually quite a strong defense from NX, despite, you know, that wall being breached very early on, which is something that...
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
10 seconds left before insertion.
That is...
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
5 seconds to go.
That is very unfortunate.
It feels like you need to
Attackers
be
are
laughing
moving to
at this.
defuse the bomb.
It's just the fact that we were like so seriously like full on discussing it all, and it's just Mint just casually just explodes herself. Thankfully though for them, Yoshi was able to equalize that player count down to a 4v4, but that is unfortunate.
Yeah, it's something you definitely don't want to be happening. Hopefully Mint actually managed to toss out some of those cameras she had. I think it was probably just a misclick of a bunch. She probably threw down her C4 and was like, oh, I gotta pick it up, and just detonated it in her face.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Yeah. And it happens to the best of us, trying to press F instead you press G, and well, that's all she wrote. But so is Daddy Maddie, actually. That's all the time that she will get to play in this round, as Yoshi is just pulling a phenomenal effort here.
Yeah, and it's the double hard breaches for 71st being taken down. There's very little to gain from now if they want to open up Lounge. I assume that's what Toki's looking for. You know, rather they have to just go for a straight on push. There's no vertical angles, there's no breaches that can be opened.
Yeah, so they will have to be funneled through that kind of all the choke points that so far Enix have managed to set up. Yoshi could be the person to really put an end to any kind of push or any aggression, but the moment I say that, Toki, absolutely nuts with that swing.
She's still got 3 flash grenades in her pocket as well. There's no Mega, no Remind on the defending lineup. So, the beat. Oh. So if, you know, all of a sudden are careful about the grenades that they use, they could get something off, because there's nothing to deny that. Yeah,
well, at the very least, yeah, they will now know that there's going to be only a few avenues where the aggression could be coming from, albeit glazed. The moment they realize that there's not going to be a whole lot of hard breaching to be done, they decided to push a completely different spot, and that's construction control now completely established in favor of 71st, but the time is ticking, and so is the amount of lives. Toki now taken down, so now it's down to Maddie and Glazed, and they have already managed to go in for the push. Oh, phenomenal rush, but doesn't really pay off. It's Spot and Dirtle to find that shot with the pump action, and now it's all down to Maddie with the 20 seconds to try to clutch out in a 1v2.
She does still have the diffuser in her pocket alongside 3
15 seconds left.
grenades, as well as 1 edge, and she could get a
Oh no.
10 seconds left.
She's in a very tough position right now, but no, Cheeseburger gets that final shot in, picks off Maddie, and that's another round for Enix.
Good job by Enix, actually, still being able to hold on to the site pretty well and being able to react quickly enough for any kind of rushes or any other shenanigans that 71st were trying to pull off there, because if Glazed rush would have worked out, that could have been a game changer there for that round.
Yeah, that really could have been, but like, when you're trying to rush onto a site and there's a shotgun staring right at you in the face, I don't know how successful that rush could be.
I mean, if you're nuts on hitting the headshots, that could have worked out. But yeah, I'll have to agree. A pump action against a fully automatic on that close of a range, yeah, that definitely didn't have a whole lot of chances.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bomb.
All in all, you know, it was a fantastic effort from 71st, losing their 2 hard breaches so early on in the round without really capitalizing on the benefits of that. They were still able to draw it out to be such a close round as well, so definitely props to 71st.
You know, we are going to be going on to the church defense, which has been pretty successful last time for Enix, so they might be looking at getting themselves another point.
10 seconds remaining.
potentially shut it down for 71st, at least for the time being. But
5 seconds
71st
left.
now, knowing how kind of the general playstyle is, they could
Attackers are moving out
pretty
to
much
locate a bomb
counter
and defuse
the
it.
play. That is, though, that depends on whether Mint will be playing from that top position as well, because she was the one that pretty much shut things down pretty quickly for 71st.
I'm quite interested to understand the reasoning behind why Rushy is on neutral quite this often, because I would assume that due to the carry charges being used on the hatch, you instead have mute jammers in dirt tunnel, and I would assume that the dirt tunnel got open so fast last time because a grenade just got lobbed in and destroyed the jammers instantly. So having mute jammers there, not there, doesn't really seem like there's a huge impact. So instead of having a visual, you could have a Jaeger with the ADSs to suck up those grenades and to protect the mute jammers, protect dirt tunnel pretty much. So I'm quite interested to understand the reasoning behind all of these operator choices.
Yeah, maybe it's also partially due to the fact that there's it's just a bit more of a kind of a comfort ground here for some of the players just to play on these certain ops. Yeah, Yoshi's, I mean, she's been doing a great job at just being all over the map, really, and just trying to be that nuisance to really, to be an issue for 71st to really deal with, which has proven to work pretty well. Nice shot by Weasel to shut down the mute jammer. But yeah, I mean, probably another mute jammer up on top to at the very least simulate as if there's somebody roaming up above could have been good, but
A
alas,
bomb has been located.
wasn't the case and didn't really do anything for Yoshi there per se.
Yoshi gets taken down so quick by Toki.
Bomb located by attackers.
Of her health. Is she able to take down Mint as well with that? That'd be a huge trade for Toki.
Loading back.
There it is. Yeah, there's the frag onto Mint, so already a double kill for Toki once again, making some real good entry fragging play here for 71st, so upping the chances for themselves to win out this map. But right now, the main thing that they have to go for 71st is the fact that currently the whole Enix roster is a little bit disconnected. They're all holding their own kind of angles, so the moment that defense is going to start falling apart, this is where they can emphasize their play, and so they do. It's Daddy Matty to find a very nice, very close shot onto the head of Pot and Dirtle, and now it's all down to Heart Explodes and Cheesebender.
Yeah, it's a 2v4 right now. It doesn't look good in the hands of X, but in the other way, Daddy gets that
10
headshot
seconds
onto
left.
Cheesebender. It's just a 1v4. Heart Explodes out against the wall. She has the life things
5
coming
seconds
out.
left.
She knows that Weasel is going in for the plant. Can she get anything out of this?
They're activating the bomb diffuser.
Unfortunately, no, she won't, as that is the round rather to go into the hands of 71st, just as I was about to write them off for the side. They were able to make a comeback and continue leading the leaderboard here for themselves. So, it's a 3-2, and, well, it's certainly looking like 71st are slightly making those those good adjustments from on round-to-round basis. So, for Jim, maybe they might be able to take the round again, or maybe it's on the contrary, it will be Enix's win, as they were able to nearly make a comeback last time we saw them.
Yeah, and I'm actually quite curious at how 71st is playing. A lot of the times they're going for the roam clears first before they actually collapse onto site, especially as was evident in that church hall just then. Yes, there was a carry charges on the hatches, which denied any hatches being opened, but they still
Defenders,
found a way
protect your
around them.
bombs from
They
being
still
defused by
managed to
attackers.
pick off Yoshi and managed to kill me. And then they went down the main stairs and they got their kills, And that's exactly what you want to be seeing when you're being countered like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the Enix, they will try to make the play once again. We are seeing just about the same set of reinforcements. This time just having a slight adjustment of a mute jammer there, just to
10
prevent
seconds
any
remaining.
further drone. But I'm still not 100%
5 seconds to
sold
go.
on it. I like what Mint is doing with the fact that she's bringing now the castle to try to
Attackers must locate
deny
and defuse
some
the bomb.
view angles for a little bit longer, but those need to be reinforced with some extra utility, either maybe more Maya charges, or Jaeger, or some more mute jammers. So yeah, I'm not full 100% sold on it, but at the very least, there's some changes that are being made. So, and that is already a good sign.
Yeah, I think this is actually the first time that we're seeing Mint on another operator, but not Valkyrie. So it's good to see some operator versatility. A little bit times when
Attackers have dropped the bomb
on like the side. Yoshi, headshot on the Weasel.
Defender is
Oh,
Yeah, you've got to
that
be
is
aware
naughty.
of his angle. So yeah,
that is a
that
naughty
is
angle.
not what you want to happen. Weasel thing like
Attackers
that's a
recovered
hard
the
breach
diffuser.
on. Good thing Daddy Matty is still there. Looks like Yoshi's going to that area. She's going.
Right now, she's actually being pressured from multitude of angles, so she'll need to maybe reconsider at least just the slight positioning there. But for the time being, it seems that 71st got spooked off of that kind of the jacuzzi area, so they will try to now just to make do with the other side of the clubhouse.
Still a lot of other alternate angles to push from. Yeah, you know, you could go from the other side of clubhouse. You could go through the main stairs spiral. You know, a lot of angles still up for grabs. But yeah, as I was saying, a lot of the times when you do have a castle, you're looking for a bandit trick. You're looking to protect, you know, the back of your bandit essentially, so that there's more sound cues for the bandit to run away when they get pressured. So it's interesting to see that instead of doing that, this time you use this castle just because of that, like we're just gonna maybe force up the gadgets because we've seen Taki use that Ash Vision charge. So good to kind of effective trade-off.
Well, talking about the effective trade-offs right now, Cheesebender is in a bit of a pickle there with her position, albeit that she's still pretty safe there, unless she's gonna start getting fragged out or spammed with flashbangs. But right now, she could actually have a really nice angle there onto the IQ of Glaze. There's the feet and hands, everything. The whole body has been spotted, but after breakdancing on the floor, Cheesebender is the one to find the frag.
That's a very interesting style of play from Cheesebender. You know, can't quite doubt that a good breakdance would get the kill. It's actually very fortunate for her as well that First don't have any defensive grenades to flush her out with.
15
Otherwise,
seconds
with no
left.
in mind, with no Jaeger, she should just be free picking. But Yoshi's holding
10
the back of
seconds left.
Cheesebender, fending off any additional angles from that, not getting the
5
kill
seconds
onto
left.
top of it. Is there another kill? Oh! It's a rush off to Sky, you know, the time.
Operators, you are out of time.
Yeah, with the time now kind of running out at this point, Enix did a very phenomenal job at just draining so much time. Like, we saw for such a long while 71st trying to peek the Vigil on the jacuzzi area, then rotating over to the windows, trying to get to flush that Legion out, losing Glazed, and so on and so on. And all that time, they were all outside of the building. They weren't even allowed to make the entrance, which was all reinforced by Yoshi's aggressive play. And yeah, that is certainly quite a solid statement, especially on a site like Gym, I reckon.
Yeah, and this is, again, you know, all about the perceived pressure, because just because that Vigil ran away, they don't know that the Vigil's gone. And that's, I assume, why they all rotated away from that spa area, because they were like, you know, we don't want to lose another one of our members to Taki like
Attackers
that.
need to locate and defuse as many
Without
bombs as they
punishing her
can.
or anything. So they decided to rotate, and because of that, it took a lot of time. And it really, I guess, they made them doubt their angles.
Yeah, that element of doubt, the moment you lose all of your kind of focus, all of your momentum and confidence in your peaks, this is where you kind of start losing out on so many gunfights, so many opportunities as well. And that aggression that we saw from 71st in the first few rounds was just completely vanished. The moment they started doubting, the moment they started kind of, that play by Yoshi got into their head, and pretty much at that point it was just pretty much a GG for that round. But curious how will now Enix being on attack, how will they perform here, given that they are bringing in a slightly different lineup, I reckon.
Yeah, I think introducing a Kali is always a good idea, especially when you're up against possible bandits. When that, I remember it got banned from, could have done another work. I guess, you know, again, it's up to the comfortability of each operator. I also that down my charge. Hold on, don't shift it off.
Yeah, that Cali lance essentially exploded that thermite charge as well. So unfortunately, that can't be timed that well. So
A
yeah,
bomb
Glazed
has been
position
located.
will be staying pretty well reinforced until there's going to be any kind of pressure from below, from Mint maybe.
Yeah, they need to trade offline first if they want to achieve anything. Mint is still Mint swings with a deagle, gets Patan, just like that. Lion gone. That's an excellent shot from Deagle, which is quite hard to aim.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal beginning there for 71st, especially on their defense, as we are going to be seeing actually Yoshi now try to push out, but oh, Maddie is just unrelenting there on that hold. We'll be trying to fall back to the stock room, and I don't think there will be actually anyone else to follow up. Oh no, wait, there will be Cheesebender, but she is completely clueless as to where the positioning of Valkyrie is, and well, we'll try to fairly promptly fall back to her teammates.
Yeah, I think this was a like sort of a misplay out from NX's side. If you look at all the drones, actually, we can see that Cheeseburger actually did have a drone still in her pocket that was able to use, you know, so she could have drone her teammates in, so they could have seen Maddie possibly hiding out in the stocks area or something like that. Instead, you know, they face tanked it, I guess, with their heads, and that's not the outcome you want to be seeing happening.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, not a single bit of, well, a slight bit of damage has been dealt, pardon, to Glazed, but ultimately the rest of the team is still very healthy, still is able to frag out, and Mint actually will be able to open up there onto Daddy Matty, so that is no more will mine, but I believe his job has been pretty much already done.
Yep, at this point in the game, you would expect that all of
Attacker's
the
bomb
line
diffuser has
should
been
be already
dropped.
flowing out.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, okay, check that drone spotted.
15 seconds to go.
Oh. Point
That
for
is a horror
shotgun. That's
story.
not something you want to face against, you know, especially when you're helpless like that, just planting the bomb, just hoping your teammates are going to cover you. Instead, bam, right in the head.
Right in the kisser went the shot, as 71st made the bodies fly there with that shotgun, and well, making once again taking the lead in the points, as so far they have been pretty evenly going back and forth between themselves and Enix, as I would imagine that probably the defensive side is definitely going to be a little bit more well organized for themselves.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you want to be seeing, because you want to be able to have more time in the time bank so that you're able to get that plant down without being stressed, you know. I would assume that they got that plant down purely because they didn't have any time to secure angles. They just needed to whack that bomb down. Otherwise, the round would have been automatically a loss for them.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Some faster action out from the teams. I'm also just going to make a little special shout out. I see Chief and the 6 pick off that thermite onto the Decay, actually the newest elite to come to the game. I think I remember you talking about the Decay
Attackers have
elite. How
discovered
much
the
you wanted
location
it,
of a bomb.
Yeah, that's pretty much an instant call for me the moment I'll have some extra dollary dues in the bank account. But yeah, I definitely like the general design for the elite.
10 seconds to go.
Plus, yeah, I'd reckon the moment the next phase
5 seconds to
esports
insertion.
skins start coming out, those will be pretty well matched as well with
Attackers objective is to
that
defuse
elite
the
as well,
bomb.
I reckon.
Yeah, I quite like the gun skins for it as well. It feels quite clean and it looks really nice, you know?
Yeah.
So
Albeit not really offering any kind of a tactical advantage with masking themselves, but yeah, I dig them. I like how clean they are.
it would be bright white and everything.
Yeah, bright white and purple. I mean, you could probably make it work in the rooms like stockroom, but yeah, that's a stretch.
I am interested to know, however, that Enix, for this round at least, they have no hard breaches with them. Prior rounds, when there has been a charge attack, they've managed to open up a thermite quite quickly, as a matter of fact, with those thermite charges. However, this time, I would assume maybe with the pay charges on all the hatches, they've gone, nah, we
Attacker's
don't
bomb
want to deal with
diffuser
this
has been
anymore.
dropped.
But Maddie gets a headshot onto Yoshi. They didn't manage to spot her out in that bar. She gets some bullets into her, but can she get that double kill? No, not quite. And you'll actually be
recover the
cheaper on
diffuser.
that to keep your lead, finishing off Maddie.
Yeah, good refrag at the very least between Cheesebender and Maddie. So good job on evening out the player count. And well, losing Yoshi, the highest performing player there, is certainly going to hurt it a little bit, but 71st still have plenty amount of players that are still full health and are able to play it out in very powerful positions. I mean, look at pretty much all of them. Each one of the 71st players is still in a very well-reinforced position, so for Enix to make it work, they will need to wedge them out really quickly and very heavily with some heavy usage of the utility, mainly those smoke grenades and frag grenades as well.
Yeah, I do want to say though, things aren't really looking good for 71st. They do have a lot of intel operators on their side with that advantage there, but also the main thing having ISP on site that the king would have had to be able to gain, vision into. So that's not something you want to happen, and especially as a maester camp, you don't want something as that to be in the hands of the attackers.
Not at all. Oh, Cheesebender finds a nice headshot meanwhile onto Toki, so that is a solid advancement here, but does not expect a wild Maestro there. You never expect the, well, not the Spanish Inquisition, but this time it's an Italian Inquisition. It will be there with a machine gun, and well, with 24 seconds left to go, we are once again stuck at that kind of almost 20-second meta, you could say, in a way of saying it, given that not a whole lot of utility has been used up, but nonetheless, time has been running low and the push needs to happen.
Live teams are coming out onto remember onto neutral. Hardspo's going for a rush onto place. That bomb is on site. Daddy made
Operators, you are out of
guarding that bomb with their life. They knew that the diffuser was dropped on site. All the members of the attackers had to rush on, but that last line of defense, that Maestro, kept it strong with those bullets.
Yeah, Maestro's position by Daddy Maddie. Maddie Daddy actually rhymes pretty well as well, but nonetheless, memes aside, it was a really good hold there by the player of 71st, and well, now they are going to be going on to Jim to try to maybe make it a flawless streak of defensive rounds for themselves, and see if they can get the match point for themselves, because they're already on a 2-round lead, which is most certainly going to be helping them at least to keep the morale up.
Yeah, and this is something that we keep seeing showing up as like a
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Problem that I would like to point out on the enemy side is that factor of time. It doesn't feel like they're losing out much in the country. It feels like everything's going quite even up until those last 20 seconds where they have no choice. They have to go for it. They have to run. Otherwise, there's just no time. And these rounds are short enough as it is. You really don't want to be rushing something without being 100% sure that you're able to get a safe angle. So I wager that's probably one of the biggest reasons why there's already such a 2-round lead.
5 seconds
yeah,
left.
the time management has definitely been a bit of an issue. For matter of fact, both of those teams, 71st had a few issues on their attack as well, trying to kind of gain any traction to swing in, and a few of their rounds definitely were fairly questionable, but nonetheless they were able to make it work for themselves and get some of the pushes to keep it as even of a scoreline as it can get for the first half. But for the time being, it's going to be a push, yet another attempt by Enix, as instead of going for a CCTV, they're gonna straight up ignore it and try to get a straightaway a breach into the construction, which is not a bad idea, at least to me.
It's not a bad idea. All these reinforcements are in place, so they most likely have droned out the entirety of CC and cache, and they know that there's no one in there, so there's really no point wasting breaching charges there and going through empty rooms. Instead, you could just set up a drone as flank watch and then just go straight in onto construction, where Weasel is lying there quite defenseless.
Yeah, beauty of Weasel's position as well is that she can open up the hatch right below her and drop down for a rotation, given that there's no presence on the ground floor, and potentially assist Maddie as well with a push. Another breaching charge will be coming through, and that lands. Yeah, once again, that still destroys your breaching charge, unfortunately, Yoshi. And well, there won't be a second breach, but at the very least, they still have the entrance into the logistics office that is still completely uncontested. There's still an entrance into construction. And Pottendirtle is about to catch Weasel's shotgun round into her face in a second, it seems.
Pottendirtle does still have a drone in her pocket, so she's feeling wise about this. She could tuck herself in a safe corner and drone this out, because going headfirst into a shotgun is... You're definitely not in for a good time. Oh, with this alternate angle out, she's back up. Forcing out Weasel. That's what you want to see, because that's a free room now. Max 4 of class 4X.
Yeah, fantastic coordination there to just to get out of the and get another defender out of the way. But Maddie's flank could actually turn things around there very quickly, given that Glazed is able to fire back a few more shots at the attackers, and Daddy Maddie just gets taken down by the Kali pretty quickly. So the moment that push is going to happen, pretty sure Maddie's footsteps rather were not heard, so really she might just be able to get a drop on the attackers. But in a 2v4, things could definitely look a little bit scary here.
Maddie has to move fast. She gets that headshot on for the time. I was going to say the time still has one more lion charge for that. She doesn't get to doesn't catch anyone. Glazed, however, unsuspected, creeps up from behind. Gets that. Oh, no, Maddie sneaks it. I was just about to say that Glazed with all these skills stacking up one by one. So Maddie gets that last kill, able to get that defusal. Plenty of time in the game. And that's
Defender mission successful.
That round was, quite honestly, was all for Enix's taking.
Yeah.
And it just, all of a sudden, that 2v4 just collapsed it all. All that flank pretty much done all that and split that attention of Enix's attack and allowed Glazed to get those frags really nicely. So, yeah, I mean, once again, I applaud to 71st coordination, but yeah, for Enix, that is a bit of an unfortunate turnout there.
Yeah, I feel like everything was actually on Enix's side. You know, they still had one more lion charge. Potentially, you know, maybe they didn't know Maddie was on site, but they knew that Glaze was definitely close by due to Glaze getting all those kills on members of Enix. So having a lion charge go off, yes, it's really quick, but it is able to freeze all the defenders pretty much in, like, freeze them, because otherwise if you move, then you would get instantly detected by those lions. So because of that, you know, Maddie might have been forced to play a bit slower, and Glaze definitely wouldn't have been able to move. So it's not a bad idea to pop it, as even though the bomb's being pressed down.
Yeah, well, either way, didn't really work out for Enix at all. They will be getting one more chance to really claim a round, otherwise they are going to be looking at another loss there for themselves, but it won't be over for them yet, as they are going to be playing. The second match is going to be against Queen Bees that will be streamed on this channel, so they are going to be getting another chance at scoring themselves some points. But yeah, for the time being, things are certainly not looking all too pretty.
Yeah, it still looks like quite a strong defense set up by the falling files, so it'll be interesting to see how else all around this will the Candyland destroy the thermite charges. Hopefully by now they've learned not to let that happen. You know, better to take stock control and then launch control and then open up the road with maybe like impact or something, and open the floor in a more traditional way like that to flush up the kind of trigger.
That's one way to get an angle. Oh, she sees the Jaeger, does get the down as well, and does able to finish off. Fantastic angle onto Toki, and good job by Yoshi as well to once again make that opening. It seems that Yoshi she has that just phenomenal ability to just not care and then just go in for the peaks.
Mint getting a headshot onto the Maddie, so that's launch control almost secured for Enix, and this is exactly what we want to see. You know, this is going Enix's way. However, Blaze might be looking to trick Chief Bender, and Wait. Did that thermite charge just pop out of nowhere for you as well?
Pretty sure, yeah. I think that's glitched out
Okay.
for us as well. But yeah, the wondrous times. Yeah, that's good night.
Yep. Yep.
Both of the brimstone charges have been extinguished, and so is Mint's life as Glazed continues her rampage throughout Enix's lines. But for the time being, it's at the very least it's back to a 3v4, so very much workable here still for 71st.
Yeah, if Enix wants to get a successful take onto this site, they really have to battle all the members of the 71st who are actually holding very incorrect positions on the site as well. Smoke grenade does come out. I think she's seeing her head poking in, and
Bomb located
that's
by
Mazer taken down with a head phone. With those Carly optic zooms on her sniper rifle, that's not something you want to be challenging, especially as a smoke with a SMG. I think it was an SMG.
Yeah, pretty sure it was an SMG, if not a shotgun, and that is even that's an even bigger kind of towing cost. Another victim falls to the hands of Kali, and Glaze is potentially going to be left all alone. She doesn't know that there is a peek from Pot and Dirtle. Tried to make the play, but it's Yoshi. She's just absolutely unrelenting on that Kali play, and well, at the very least, Enix are able to scramble their lack of utility situation, and that is a quality quickscope, I gotta say.
Yeah, and I played enough T-Hunts with that Carly sniper rifle to figure that it's not quite an easy gun to handle. So definitely, very good show of handling.
It certainly looks like Yoshi had a good amount of the quantum energy as well to just get herself all charged up, because right now, I mean, let's take a look at the scoreboard. She's currently already on double digits, whereas on 71st only Glaze is on 10 kills, whereas Yoshi's on 12, and the game is not even over yet, and we might be even seeing a full-on comeback here.
Yeah, all they need is 2 rounds to tie it up in a draw, and I don't believe we actually go into overtime for the Women's League. No, so yeah, a 6-6 would be the final score, and a tie coming up would be an incredible turn of events.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
definitely
can.
what they want to be aiming for.
Yeah, and the last push onto into Church was actually almost successful, if not for the lack of time. So certainly I can see Enix really perform well here on this side, and as long as they can get the breaches done, because this time they do have Mint and Cheesebender actually on the hard breaching roles, so no more of the out there kind of decisions to bring in the Dokkaebi and no hard breaches. This time it's just as
5 seconds to go.
well meta as it can get, minus the pick of Lion and maybe Kali, as Kali is slowly kind of slotting herself into the whole meta and kind of slowly replacing maybe the Thatcher.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that with Carly, with her Lancers, as she's looking for shootout, they could actually be a very effective way to counter these electronic charges that Glaze has. Yeah, and she's broken the K charge, which means that Dirt is able to be opened up by Cheesebender, and this can actually be repeated for all the hatches as well, depending on which ones they want to choose for. Seeing as Yoshi only has 2 more Lancers left. However, this is a way to open up hatches, which is something that we haven't seen a lot of play in yet in this lineup.
Curious to know with the fact that Yoshi actually decides to peek that shield with a very very ballsy manner, with the lance out instead. Oh, that does connect. That pixel. Yoshi, that's dirty. That's absolutely dirty.
I'll admit I did have my doubts about her using a lance on the deployable shield, but it was all worth it. Probably not for the reasons you would think, but she still gets the kill, which is what you want. So, worth,
Yeah,
Attackers are
definitely
located
100%
bombs.
worth the moment. If you are able to get that kill and get the player advantage, it's all you really need. Glazed will be forced of her position, as she won't be able to really deny any breaches, and that is another avenue to be opened up for the attack to push. And well, at this point, 71st will definitely be having a few questions about how are they even gonna go in for that push, given that, well, Yoshi has been just absolutely clinical, but so is Toki actually on the Jaeger as she finds Hard Explode, so back to a 3v4.
Yeah, this actually pushes Toki into the double digits, 4 kills as well. So good to see that both teams are equally matched in terms of fragging potential. It'd be interesting to see how NX would choose to push this. In the past, they've always pushed down main stairs, as we see them pushing as well. But this time, Cheesebender is actually on the kitchen hatch as well, which gives them more sidelines to choose from.
Yeah, oh, I think Cheesebender just seen a pixel of Kaid's head. Oh, there's some feet as well of Jaeger, so now they know at least the position of the 2 players, but curious that Yoshi's actually not the one to spearhead the push, given that she had an amazing success with the sniper rifle to try to get rid of some of the opposition, but it seems that it's Mint actually that's gonna be going in for the play.
Yeah, this is why Kali is such a versatile operator.
left.
She's got that sniper scope to push down the long angles.
10
But she's
seconds
also
to go.
got a great secondary to push this close angle.
5 seconds to go.
Might they get another one? Yoshi,
Attackers dropped
to
the
pick that Kali, is getting up into the gun party. Blaze headshot onto
Operator, you have run
Cheeseburger.
out of
Time runs out once again. And that's match. Yeah, that's match for the 71st.
Yeah, that's game. 71st, able to win it out just by draining the time and being able to just keep the attackers at bay for as long as they could. Pretty much solidified the dub there for themselves. Very close, though, for Enix to get to that point. I mean, 2 of the 71st players were able to get that double digits, and a huge, phenomenal game there for Yoshi, who was able to push her team to a fair few of the round wins.
Yeah, Yoshi on that Kali is nothing to be trifled with, and I think any team that versus them, despite seeing that loss, will be quite wary of the operator choices. So all in all, despite the loss, I think this was an excellent showcase of games that we could have seen as our first match today.
Yeah, I mean, for 71st, this is a really good win that they needed to really solidify themselves in that 5th spot. For Enix, though, it's not going to be all over yet, as they are still going to be getting a chance to, at the very least, advance a single point up on the leaderboard, as they are going to be playing against the Queen Bees as well. So we will have to see how that will go as well. But for the time being, we are going to go on to a short break just to get ourselves ready up for the game number 2, ready the teams up, get ourselves some fresh bit of quantum energy as well, and we'll see you in just a short few minutes.
One moment to escape. We'll take you home. When you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, chase your happy place. It will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance again, that I've never been, that I've never been. Never been.
Walking on the moon.
One moment to escape. We'll take you home. When you're walking on the moon,
Walking on the moon.
chase your happy place. It will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon.
counter repel. 10 seconds remaining, and the plant will be starting to get going down. Ozzy is on a little bit of health, meanwhile the Bell is still very much healthy, but a single headshot should solve that problem.
Raffle gets a neat headshot onto Ozzy. Now it's just a 1v1 between Raffle and Sav. Sav needs to Raffle needs to defuse that bomb. She gets the kill onto Sav. Her crazy control of that SMG-11 Leapfrog. I was so well done by Raffle. She managed to get that bomb defused, and this round is going to go to Aqua.
Disabled by defenders.
Completely unaware that Cortari is still there, still on a prowl and ready to crash.
If anything, they should know she's in there now. She managed to take down Raffle, who was already really low health, but they know someone's available in stock. Pi makes a both out. She gets that pick onto Time for Pioneer, the sound cue. It was a bait.
1v1 situations that she could have taken, but right now that Cortari has managed to come back close to the side, does find actually a shot. Oh, so close, Brochet. So close, but no cigar. It's Elevate to win it out. That wall is not getting breached anytime soon, so unless Mons and Finite swing, this could be huge. Finite dies to a pre-fire by Bernabear, and in a 1v4 situation, things are certainly looking very scary. That's one. Only a down, unfortunately, here for Mons. Maybe she could find another one, but right now, all the guns are aimed at that doorway, and well, it's Coney to find that shot, and well, it's round number 5 for England, as they are now in control of the round count. Rough spot, given that she's quite cornered here.
But Sawyer, not backing down, she gets the double kill onto Koi, and then Kobai from it. 1-by-1 Mons on the kill onto Bernabear. Forbidden, out of nowhere, a flawless round, leave on with that final headshot onto Coney. What an excellent turn of events for them.
All that setup is there and ready to blast Soy into her demise. There's the peak, there's the swing, and Kingswomen win round number 11. Kovice to close it out. What a game and what a streak that BGW were able to muster at the end of the map. All right, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to week 4 of Women's League. Pi and Cthulhu still on the microphone, and Pi, so far we had a pretty banger of a matchup, actually, between Enix and 71st, sorry. We're having a slight bit of issue there, ladies and gentlemen, bear with us. But yeah. Yeah, let's have a look though at the matchup that we are going to be seeing for the second one. That is going to be Queen Bees versus Enix. This is Enix's kind of second chance at the scoring themselves some points. But same goes for Queen Bees here, as this is the kind of the the sixth place rather than against seventh.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how the two, six teams played out. Both teams don't actually have a win under their belt, so it'll be interesting to see which one comes away with the win, or if it will just end up in another draw again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the general kind of performance between Queen Bees and Enix, Queen Bees they were able to run away with a one round from against King's Women, and that is probably about it against any other higher tier teams. Whereas for Queen Bees, they have that draw against Enix previously, and they were able to run away with the 4 rounds against 71st as well. But let's quickly have a peek at the rosters as well. We have Queen Bees kicking things off with them. Any kind of thoughts / kind of comments about any of the players here?
Well, this is definitely a very loaded roster. There's double coaches, TK Brexit, as well as Barnacy, with Lucky Crystal, Brunek, Cozy Aries, Gorn Walkabouts, X, Hoddo, and the sub Chazza. It'd be interesting to see how these games pan out. Can Queen Bees take some rounds away, or will they be the will they be the ones to have their rounds taken away?
Yeah, we'll have to see, but let's also take a look at the roster that is going to be challenging them. Enix, already we've talked about them a little bit before. We saw them already just play against 71st, where they nearly were able to ramp up a comeback, but unfortunately, time was not in their favor there. Heart, Mint, Durkle, Cheesebender, Yoshi, with Chio on sub, and then Gluttony being the team coach. Do you reckon we might be seeing kind of the similar outcome here, where it's going to be a kind of Yoshi essentially being the spearhead for all of their kind of aggressive plays? Or do you reckon we will be seeing a few other players to kind of pop off and become, get themselves some highlights?
I think the vast majority of the effectiveness that we saw Yoshi on was actually when she had Carly in her hands. And so it'll be interesting to see if she's able to replicate that performance with a defender. So perhaps maybe, there's someone on the roster who's able to bring out the Carly-ness on defense as well, so that Yoshi doesn't need to actually step it up. But, if anything was an indication, we do know that one of their weaknesses is actually time and time management. So it'd be interesting to see if there'll be better management of it, it'll be better utilization of it.
Yeah. Well, let's also take a look at the maps that we are going to be seeing as well. The map bans definitely went completely the opposite way. We are not going to be getting a second clubhouse here, as we were talking. And, well, it's your favorite map. It's Oregon Pie.
Yeah. I was actually, we were talking about the bans, and it was either going to be a Cafe or an Oregon ban. And I was like, oh my gosh, please let Cafe through. I mean, statistically speaking, we have seen Oregon and Clubhouse quite a lot this entire season, so I wasn't really surprised to see Oregon actually make it through to be the last pick. Cthulhu, do you have any predictions? Do you have any thoughts on Oregon?
I'm tempted to say that Oregon might actually be a draw. Actually, between these two teams, they were we have seen a draw already previously from them. Enix might have a little bit of a advantage here, given that they have kind of warmed up already in their game against 71st, so might be able to be a little bit quicker on getting themselves some points. But for the time being, let's take a look at the Oregon as well itself, and we'll just transfer into the game in just a few moments, where it's going to be actually Enix to kick things off on defense, so things might certainly look up in their favor maybe in the first half.
Yeah, Enix starting off on defense, actually both this map as well as Clubhouse. Be interesting to see if there's a change in operators or if there is a change in bans that they propose. So let's see that first ban come out, very decisive, instantly picked.
Yeah, an instant pick there for themselves, and none other than Thatcher will be gone out of the equation once again. So Kali maybe.
True, this does open up Kali to be a very effective operator. When those wars are bandit charged or mute charged, that's the time for a Kali. And DKB coming out second? Quite an interesting choice, but apt considering that NX actually did choose DKB a few times on Clubhouse.
Yeah, well, the KB did have a little bit of the success there for Enix, so yeah, no wonder that Dokkaebi is out, albeit not as much as probably we would have wanted to see the DKB to come out, but yes, she will be no longer there. And well, final two bans are Mira and Pulse, with Pulse kind of popping back in and out of popularity of being banned, oddly enough.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that instead of the standard Echo Maestro ban that you have, we have Pulse, which is, it's still a very good ban. It obviously eliminates the threat of being intel through soft surfaces or through the verticals. So I wouldn't be surprised to have that ban come through. That operator lineup though, Philly, any thoughts on having a Rook? Oh well, 6 picked off, but.
That's a bait. Yeah, I'm rather more curious about that Ying pick though. Because while Rook could have allowed, at the very least with Rook you have some impact grenades, you have the ACOG as well, so loadout wise you're not really missing out on a whole lot of things. With Ying, she has seen a fair few picks here and there, but ultimately that kind of rush potential that she usually brings in with her Candelas and being able to have that kind of mass flash effect on the whole room, I haven't really seen that really come out, so I'm curious whether this is the time when we might be seeing the Ying kind of be the leader of that kind of the general momentum that attack could bring on over. Meanwhile, on the defense, well, yeah, I like the whole lineup. It's pretty well-rounded, covers pretty much all the bases that you need,
5 seconds left before
and it's
insertion.
pretty much only a matter of how well can Enix really play their cards
Attackers
here.
are moving to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I agree. I am quite keen to see how the Ying is going to be played, because normally you have Yings, because Ying is pretty much a projectile machine, and a lot of the times you either go for a rush, or if there is a Jaeger Lamaya combo on the defender side, you can just pretty much use one person to burn out all of the gadgets. So this time, there's no Lamaya, there's only a Jaeger ADS. Just one Ying, essentially, one Ying Candela will be able to burst through one ADS, so it's quite a worthwhile trade-off.
That is true. I'm actually quite curious how will Ying perform after the Shadow Legacy drops, because she will actually be gaining that small heart-breaching charge.
Oh, yeah.
Which could be a very potent combination. Same goes actually for Monty as well. He will be getting those charges as well. But talking about some huge charges and huge plays, Cheesebender actually has a very strong position if she plays her cards right, and the timing is going to be definitely of the essence.
I'm interested to see, however, there's no mute jammer around Cheesebender. Maybe it was shot already, but having a mute jammer there would provide a little bit of help towards Cheesebender, and that element of surprise, I assume, is what they're going for, where she'd be able to get maybe unsuspecting attacker or maybe even a C4 kill. So a little bit disappointed, but hopeful.
Yeah, at the moment it's a little bit of a calm before the storm, given that, well, there is already an opening in the hatch, so at the very least the meeting hole has been fully and well in control. Mint is trying to get into a gunfight though in the freezer, and that is what seems to be the main kind of avenue for pressure here.
Oh,
That's unfortunate there.
I almost thought Mint was going to get a headshot, but instead Brunek headshots her back. Gone walkabouts, picking off Cheesebender, but that wasn't a death in vain. Cheesebender was able to get that kill onto Hotto, which is the thermite.
And that's Cheesebender as well, off her position as well, so at the very least Crystal can now rest well, as she won't be taken down from that very scary position. But at the moment, oh, that is a little bit of a scary look there for Heart Explode, as my heart would have exploded if that would have happened. Nice trade off once again, as Yoshi is still alive, and she was pretty much the star player of Enix in the previous game.
Yeah, and this is something we're talking about. You want to see her replicate the abilities that she showed on Kali as well on defense. And I guess on Kali, it was that great aim she had with the sniper as well as the aggressive pushes that you can still replicate with the Jaeger gun as well. And proving this, she gets a headshot onto Gorn Walkabout, and Yoshi double kill onto Small Charizard, stopping that defuse and getting that first round for them.
Yeah, Enix were a little bit close there on potentially losing out that round as well, as pretty sure Pot had 2 more gas grenades, which she could have used to just at the very least smoke out and force them out of that kind of comfort position, the remainder players of Queen Bees. But apart from that, nonetheless, it still worked out pretty well. And Kids Dorms will be the next site that we will be seeing to be played out. Any kind of thoughts on how could that really unravel now that we kind of seen a small, I suppose, preview of what is to come here?
Well, I actually didn't see a lot of Yin Candelas, fly across the map, so I am a little bit disappointed by that, to see there's no additional chaos caused by that. So maybe, I don't know, maybe taking the Yin isn't for the purpose of the flashes. The diffuser is with Lucky Crystal instead of default, with the support player Poto. So it could mean a more aggressive play by the rest of the team while Lucky Crystal sits back a bit.
Yeah, could be. Could definitely be the fact that, just Lucky Crystal's Ying is being used as more so of a fire support kind of operator, with obviously the machine gun that Ying wields has that very quickly swapped out 80-round box mag. So a few pros here for potential just covering fire, maybe even also.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, I mean,
must locate and defuse a bomb.
it looked alright for the push, but unfortunately for Queen Bees, they weren't able to just close it out as firmly as they probably would have wanted. And Enix's play here could be pretty well warranted here. I like what Cheesebender's bringing over as a bandit, and Heart Explode's bringing in the mute as well to just force a little bit more so of that kind of a few more choke points there for Queen Bees to go through.
Yeah, a few more points of pressure, and that's definitely something you want to be seeing. Again, perceived pressure, having those mute jammers so that the attackers can't be droning anything is definitely advantageous. That drone just got stopped. They know that someone's in there, but how long do they know she's in there for?
Yeah, I'm wondering if Heart Explodes will be able to rotate out of that position, because even hiding behind that bed, it's a little bit dangerous there, but she could have at the very least the element of surprise. So it seems that for the time being there's going to be some attempt at the pressure at the armory. So not a bad idea, but it is Brunak to kick things off there for Queen Bees.
Pick onto that smoke, all those smoke canisters that you were saving up for those last second pushes is now not available for Enix. So this is not looking good for them, but there still is a minute 30 left on the clock. Still plenty of time for a round change to come through. Don't know yet.
Interestingly enough, Gorn Walkabouts is not planning to really do a whole lot of breaching there onto the master bedroom, and it's Yoshi to actually get the refrag onto Lucky Crystal. Hodo, fantastic frag as well onto Heart Explode, so now that's full control of the master bedroom, now fully established.
Yeah, and this is something we were talking about, maybe this whole thing of having Lucky Crystal with the diffuser, which now has passed on to Brunak, which died to Cheesebender. However, Small Charizard, getting that refrag onto Yoshi, still good turn of events for Queen Bees. However, now it's an even 2v2. Cheesebender taking down Hodo. That's the Thermite dead. I was just about to say, maybe we were going to see some more aggressive plays out of Hodo, but Cheesebender quickly shut her down from that.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, Cheesebender definitely showing that she still has a very powerful position there for herself. We'll be forcing Queen Bees to try a few other positions that could be pressured up with. Mint could really shut down Golden Walkabouts if she
15
tries
seconds
to
to go.
repel right into the side. The push needs to start happening. 10 seconds remaining. Small Chazza trying to contest that angle, and Mint is the one to actually get rid of the Maverick, and it's Cheese Bandit to find Small Chazza as well. So a fantastic round number 2 as well to go into the hands of Enix as they are ramping up onto a 2-round lead here.
And this is what you want to see, you know, you want to see that strength on defense to get those early rounds while you can, so that when the rounds stop over, so that when, you know, they're on attack, they have that little bit of leeway to work with, a little bit of, you know, time to suss out, I guess, how Queen Bees will plan their defense in turn. So all in all, excellent turn of events for
Enix.
Yeah, for Enix. Sorry, it just slipped my mind.
Yeah. Now, I want to get your opinion about a debate, kind of which side out of the two is better for the defense, so you could say. Kitchen dining or kitchen meeting?
Ooh.
Attackers
Because
need to locate
to me,
and
the way
defuse
how
as
I
many
see it
bombs
is
as they can.
meeting offers a little bit more vertical flexibility and you can really lock it down, whereas dining feels like you need to be very proactive, especially around the dining site or the showers. So kind of
Attackers
any
have
thoughts
located
maybe
a
on
bomb.
that?
I think based on how many times I see these sites getting picked, and you know how many times I pick these sites as well, I do have a preference towards the dining kitchen side.
Okay.
Purely more because I
seconds
am like I do enjoy playing Smoke and Mute
5
and even
seconds
Maestro when you know the team needs it. So and having an operator like that in the
Attackers
showers
objective
area
is to defuse the
is
bomb.
actually quite advantageous for that dining hold. Whereas in meeting, you normally want some more aggressive roams, you want some verticality, which is something I myself I'm not quite strong at. So I would tend to steer away from that. But I mean, it's always up to individual preference and how your team plays. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a fair point as well. I definitely agree with you on the fact that it just offers a little bit. There are a few really good points that you can take, and that bathroom area and showers could definitely swing the things into just the right favor. So, talking about though the vertical play, Golden Walkabouts has brought in the fuse, the freshly buffed fuse, might I add. So 4 cluster charges to be played out as hello, that is a roaming Yoshi, and she is quite unrelenting there. She will not have
Located a
any of
bomb.
those hockey pucks to be raining from up above.
She does take a little bit of bullets for her trouble, but ultimately, you know, she ends with that double kill onto Small Chowser as well. That's the Fuse and the Zofia gone, the 2 people who I assume Queen Bee sent upstairs for that vertical control, and that's gone.
Yeah, completely vanished. No chance of really kind of having that vertical play to go through, and Yoshi's actually continuing her rampage. She's not having any of that. She's not planning to really let go of it anytime soon. Maybe could be even contesting for an ace, given that she already has the 3 of them. So finding 2 more, but within this crossfire could be a little bit tough, as Lucky Crystal already has her sights on that Vigil, but no, that's going to be completely taken away, and all down to Brunek now against the Raging Vigil.
Don't think Yoshi knows that they're in shower, so how a Brunek, you know, shot wasn't able to get the kill, which means that Yoshi now knows that they are in shower. She's looking for a flank, I would say. Yeah, a flank onto the showers. She's able to... Oh, she doesn't quite get the kills off, you know. Maybe if she wasn't so low in health, she could have been able to quickly flick around and get that kill. But as it is, Enix still takes the round, Mint getting that last kill onto Brunek.
Yeah, Enix once again just being very clinical about just closing out some of the rounds, and Yoshi, I mean, dedicated to that, a full-on quad kill, which, oh man, just that was good.
Yeah.
That was a good roam, which also punished Queen Bees for having that lack of droning as well.
Yeah, and this is something that we wanted to see from Yoshi, you know, someone who we know is quite an accomplished Kali player. To see her on those aggressive pushes on Vigil, you know, those aggressive swings, even though I don't think she actually had the intel that they, you know, the players were actually in that location, but she was still able to get those kills, which is exactly, you know, something you want from your team.
Yeah, having that element of surprise going for Yoshi, certainly working out quite well. I mean, she was quite a menace on Vigil as well on previous map as well against 71st,
Attackers need to locate
and
and
she was
defuse
able
bombs.
to get a few really nice initiations, a few runouts as well, a few quality peaks from the dirt tunnel as well. So she's definitely has solidified herself as a very, very powerful, very aggressive player as well for Enix, which is certainly a phenomenal addition to the roster, given that the rest of Enix has been playing a little bit more of a passive role, minus Mint, who has been slowly but surely kind of getting up to that level of aggression as well.
Yeah, I agree
10 seconds
wholeheartedly. You know, it's good to see another basement take come in place. Pretty similar setup from the first round that we see on both sides, except this time Gorn Walkabout is on that fuse, so maybe this time she'll be able to get those newly buffed 4 hockey pucks out before Yoshi's able to spring around and get that kickoff on her.
Yeah, Yoshi's roaming has been something that probably a fair few teams would want as well, just because she is very unpredictable about it. There's no certain set position where Yoshi will be roaming around, and there's no set time really, so it's really hard to predict when the roamer would really start swinging and start finding the picks. But seems for the time being it's a full-on turtle hold here from Enix, whereas Queen Bees are actually just they are prompting to go for a top-down take, and funnily enough, the laundry hatch has not been reinforced, and neither is actually the electrical hatch.
Yeah, I don't know if this is actually a misplay out from Enix, because the last time we actually seen these hatches not being reinforced, I believe it was when we watched Elevate play Oregon, where they were actually holding up an attic, so they were going for, you know, a double floor hold, but I don't believe this is the case for Enix, so maybe just a slight miscalculation of reinforcements, or, you know, not enough time.
Yeah, it could be. Could be that. Maybe, yeah, miscommunication could certainly be the case here as well. Gone Walkabouts will now be moving out, and we'll be seeing, the precious, the unreinforced hatch.
Which is definitely something you want to be capitalizing on if you're a fuse, because there's not actually a lot of areas to fuse down onto this basement tech, and she does get a few damaging shots onto Hard Explodes with those hockey pucks.
Yeah, so already the first fuse charge was able to deal quite a substantial amount of damage, and now the AK-12 is actually going to be coming into play. Fantastic shot onto Cheesebender, and already Enix now are looking like they just might lose out on the round, but I won't be holding my breath for it just yet, given that we saw so many times Enix already to just completely run away with a few of the rounds.
Yeah, you know, Hotto gets downed by Mint and finished off in the freezer. So that's once again, the thermite being taken down. I don't believe there were any walls that she actually managed to open up. But Brunette gets that kill onto Patan. Mint, you know, holding this freezer position so strongly. Gets that double kill onto Golden Walkabouts. Can she get that triple onto Lucky Crystal? If this is where we want to see those Yin Candelas come into play.
Yeah, at the very least, it was Crystal who managed to force Mint off her position, so we're back to a 3 versus 3, but now Mint has another pixel angle, but oh no, it seems the time is actually running low. Brunick is actually making a very valiant effort to go in for the push, and the flash does actually work out. It's all down to Hard Explodes to try to clutch this out, and Lucky Crystal needs to go in for the plan, but no, the time is not there, and the body block as well. No! Queen Bees losing out on such a very important timing. Will not be able to score this round.
I think she was trying to, you know, angle herself just onto site so she could get that prompt up, you know, just get like a fraction of her body in. But I don't think they had enough time to go for it. You know, they just had to go in and slap that diffuser down. Otherwise, the round would have been over, and that's exactly what happened. So, all in all, great effort, but just time.
Yeah, it seems that actually for both Enix and Queen Bees, this has been an issue on their attack, so curious how will the second half will really result, because so far, I mean, on 4-0, that's already quite a hefty buffer that Enix have generated for themselves, and plenty of room for error, should they do perform some once they go into the second half. But curious whether Queen Bees would be able to actually make a comeback here, and maybe push the scoreline into their favor on the second half.
Yeah, you know, being 4 rounds down is definitely not something you want, but it's still something you can come back from. You know, going into a draw even is a possibility. So if I were on Queen Bees, you know, you don't want to be losing hope just quite yet. You still want to be putting out 110% of the effort that you're going to be doing. And from this lineup, it doesn't seem like much has changed, so it'll be interesting to see if, you know, their playstyle changes. A little bit of a friendly banter between the Vigil and the drones.
Bit of a dance to come around. Yoshi certainly enjoying her time here, playing against Queen Bees, and definitely having a banger of a matchup already. I mean, 8 kills already after 4 rounds. That is a really good performance here for herself, and she will just continue just being that kind of that nuisance, just not really having any set position to play off. She's going hard with just being as unpredictable as she can be.
Yeah, having this position in rafters, especially as a Vigil where you're able to hide from the drones per se, is something that's quite intimidating to go up against. You know, these castle barricades are getting taken down. I hope they're mute jammed. If they are, it would definitely stop the flow. However, they're not. You know, Gone Walkabouts gets down by Yoshi. No, those hockey pucks are gone.
But there's still going to be a few people actually watching the angle. Yoshi, phenomenal headshot, but I don't think she's expecting another person around the corner. But Haro just played a little bit more passive there, and unfortunately won't be able to avenge her teammates just yet. But with Chaza and Golden Walkabouts gone, things are certainly not looking too pretty, albeit the last time we saw the remaining 3 players of Queen Bees, they were actually nearly able to get the play and the clutch going, so now it's more so a question of time and how quickly can they do it. Yoshi, meanwhile, completely unrelenting and is able to drop the diffuser as well.
Yeah, now that they know that the diffuser is on the laundry stairs, if I was Yoshi, I'd be quickly communicating to my team. Say, guys, the diffuser is on me. I need help surrounding me, because, you know, when the diffuser gets dropped, and I assume that's what Mint is rotating for, the whole new objective becomes guard the diffuser.
Yeah. It's a mobile kind of objective that, yeah, pretty much if you drop it in the right position, it can be absolutely huge. Mint, unfortunately, takes a little bit of damage, and now will be kind of alerting the attackers that, hey, there's a position there. Oh, I believe she was seen as well, and so some pre-fires could be coming through, but no. Yoshi once again will be denied an ace, and this time by the hands of Mint for the second time, but alas, it's a flawless round.
Yeah, it was a good impact idea to, you know, open up that hole so that Mint would be able to see down onto that diffuser to have, you know, a sort of double-pronged defense. However, I think during the chaos of where Mint took some damage, they took their eyes off the diffuser for a second, which allowed it to be taken, but ultimately, you know, they were still shut down by that flank, pretty much.
Yeah, if not Mint, Yoshi would have been able to clean up the house, yeah. And well, yeah, that is something that pretty much Enix were aiming at. So, good play, as they are able to score themselves the 5th point for themselves. Only one more round in the first half, and it certainly looks like maybe Enix will be able to get themselves a flawless half and maybe score themselves that sweet match point without even bothering to get it on the second half.
Yeah, if, you know, a clean 7-0 is able to be attained, this would be huge. You know, not only having a win, but also being so many rounds up in that round difference. In the next few games of this round robin, it would come at a definite advantage for their placement in the scoreboard.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, round advantage is certainly going to be a huge thing here as well. And given that Enix already managed to run away with 5 rounds without any kind of real punishment, they were close a couple times to losing out on the round, but the fact that they were able to drain out the time has certainly worked out quite well for them. I am definitely going to be very curious how will the second half go for them, given that they had a fair bit of struggle as well on their own attack, but it looks like Oregon has been a really good preparation for Enix, so at the very least they very well knowledgeable about how to play it out. And interestingly enough, Yoshi actually going to be playing Clash. Any kind of thoughts on that one, Pi?
I think it's a bit interesting to see, you know, someone especially as strong of a fragger as Yoshi on someone as immobile as a Shield, pretty much, because a lot of the times when you see a Clash is used to intimidate and to get some intel for the rest of the team, so that the people who are gunners will be able to capitalize on that. So to see a sort of role reversal come out is quite intriguing, at least. But
Yeah. Maybe she picked it just more so for being kind of that mobile castle almost, with the shield kind of having it on the back, as well as a really good SMG, gotta say, minus the round count in the magazine. Or maybe for that matter, she's gonna try to assist the teammate of hers, that is Mint, to try to get a few frags and maybe just be that kind of being a nuisance onto another level.
yeah, I feel like one of the best ways to utilize Clash is to, push through those aggressive angles that if you were any other operator, you definitely wouldn't be doing. But, to have someone backing you up, quite literally. And so, when you see an enemy, you get the ping out so that Mint, in this case, is able to get the frag up. This would definitely be a worthwhile investment.
Yeah, right now this is going to be a very interesting engagement, as Mint is actually going to be left to her own weapons, and Small Chaz is actually able to finally shut down Yoshi, so no more fragging for her. Still, Mint is alive and, well, still on half health, so she might just be able to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, given that Hotto is now pretty tagged up on HP, but the rotation has been opened up. Oh man, there's so many people there, and if she is able to get a few frags before all those hockey pucks are going to be extinguished, this is going to be a huge play here.
Yeah, this is something you definitely want to be capitalizing on. However, Mint swings and gets that headshot onto Hotto. I don't think they were expecting her, but Gordon Walkabout gets that trade onto Mint, so all is not in vain. She's still able to open up all those verticals and still get those gadgets out.
Yeah, there we go. At the very least, yeah, the play was there. There's the Candela charges actually going off, and a little bit of a potato aim, but Lucky Crystal able to redeem herself pretty quickly, able to even out the playfield into the favor of Queen Bees, as that's another frag, and all down to Hard Explodes. She is able to find the frag, so a 1v2 situation. No diffuser plant will be started, as Hard Explodes does find the drop as well. That's a triple kill. Can she clutch it out as well? 3 seconds remaining. Small Chaz needs to go in for the push. She needs to get the frag, but no, she will be running out of time as well. And Enix, a flawless game here.
Yeah, this is what you want to see. Things looked so tense just then, but Hard Explodes able to clutch it out. If she was able to get that kill just then, it would have meant a quad kill for her. But as it is, it's still a round-winning play. She was able to play it at the time, able to be enough of a menace so that the attackers were, a little bit stressed, and 2 seconds left on the clock. Not much you can accomplish during that time except to get that kill, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, quite an unfortunate loss there for Queen Bees, as they got pretty close to winning out, but yeah, either way, did not seem to have gone the way that they would have wanted it. But alas, for the time being, we are going to be going on to the kids' bedroom, and this time it's Enix's time to going for... Sorry, pardon, not even kids. I got debated. It's their time to attack. And looking at the lineup of the operators, any kind of thoughts on that one? As yeah, I have a few big thonk moments there.
Well, Yoshi on that collie, nothing surprising to see, and in this case, it is still quite effective. To be able to deny those bandit charges is something you definitely want to be doing. Zofia coming up, I didn't actually see a lot of projectile denial, because normally you would, again, have like a Wamai alongside that Jaeger, especially in the case of Enix, who do have a lot of projectiles on their side, especially those Kali Lancers, those Zofia projectiles. So it'd be interesting to see how effective, Frostplay comes out to stop Enix quite literally in their tracks.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how this round will go, because this could potentially be the final round for for both of these teams, and if Enix does win this could be pretty much a very swift, very quick victory here for themselves. But still, a round is yet to be played. I'm interested if Chaza will be able to get a frag from that angle, because technically you can if you have a good recoil control, but a menace re-emerges. That is Yoshi on the Kali.
Any soft walls that Yoshi's able to see is pretty much a potential kill waiting for her to net. So I'm surprised that all of Electrical was actually not reinforced off.
It's certainly an interesting decision there. Curious how will this play by Crystal actually come through, because she could have had the drop. I don't think there's any knowledge, and well, now Cheesebender is very much knowledgeable. Fantastic headshot by Lucky Crystal to shut things down, and that is the one and the only Heart Breacher now off the board, but at the very least there's a trade by Mint.
Yeah, and there's no more Heart Breachers left for Enix. However, Yoshi,
Oh my god.
she peeks to that open reinforcement and manages to net her own kill before getting taken down by Brunek, still evening out the scoreboard, an even 3-3 with still a minute 15 left on the clock.
Yeah, so still a little bit of a time left. The roster of Enix might want to consider going for quickly grabbing that diffuser and try to go in for the push, because there's still the whole roster of Queen Bees are actually fairly disconnected, albeit Hotto and Small Chaza could have a really nice crossfire set up here. So as soon as Brunek's position will be unraveled here and exposed, Enix could really go in for the swing, but we'll have to see if that is even going to be on the table here. There's the scan, so at the very least there's the position of Jaeger now fully exposed, so Mint could potentially find that frag. She knows about the position, she sees the Jaeger, but only a small bit of damage is being dealt here.
The live pings are still coming out onto her. Brunek gets taken down. She gets down, not quite finished yet, but that ping is on her. However, I think they got distracted with that ping because Small Charles was actually able to swing out and get that kill onto Patan. And now it's just a 1v3 essentially. Heart Explode has done this before. She gets a double kill onto Small Charles and Hotto. The last kill comes out. She gets almost a hip fire onto Brunek. That was an excellent turn of events for her.
Oh my goodness. Heart Explodes would probably have her heart racing as well from that clutch. That is well played by her, being able to line up all those 3 shots, and an unfortunate 7-0 loss there for Queen Bees, as they're now going to be the ones to drop down at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Excellent show of events from, all of the members. Yoshi, Mint, Heart Explodes all had those round clutching moments. So, I think that 7-0 was quite deserved after all of the efforts that each individual team member actually put in.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely a good kind of redemption moment there as well for Enix after a heartbreaking loss against 71st. So at the very least, they have managed to really bring it back for them, and at the very least gain those 3 points as well.
Yeah, it's that last round, those last few kills by Heart Explodes, that's what makes casting something like this so worthwhile. To see those last second clutches come out, it really gets your heart racing, literally. And I think, just that show alone really makes up for that bitter feeling they had after Clubhouse.
Yeah. Clubhouse was definitely, it was a good experience at the very least. They were able to, I would imagine, learn a few things about needing to really watch out for the flanks, have some more, like a better construction essentially of their defense on a few of the plays, and they were able to, it seems that they were able to apply it very well on Oregon here, especially against a little bit more even opponent here rather than 71st. And yeah, well, that's the result that they were looking for, a 7-0, a very swift one. So yeah, most definitely a solid performance, and potentially a showcase for what could be coming in the further weeks as well.
Yeah, after that first map in Clubhouse, we definitely picked out Yoshi as like the big target, to sort of gun down for. But after these rounds on Oregon, it really shows that all of Enix is actually quite capable of pulling their own weight. So I'm quite excited to see what Enix as a team would be like in next week, maybe 2 weeks later, when we showcase them again.
Yeah, really curious how they perform and whether they will be able to improve next time. We will see them. But yeah, I mean, it's about all that we have for tonight as well. Any kind of closing thoughts on just the overall how so far the season and this week's matches have gone?
Well, I think that despite today not having like something like the top two teams Elevate Kingsman being shown as some of the past weeks as we had, I feel like 71st Queen Bees and Enix still gave us quite an interesting couple of rounds to cast and to watch over, because there were definitely moments in these rounds where they could have even rivaled members of Elevate and Kingswomen. So I think, be interesting to see how these teams will react.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be curious to see when if we'll get to see teams like Enix to play against some of the higher end to maybe get a little bit of a revenge as well on some of those teams. Curious how much of a skill gap there will be, if there will be even any at this point. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, it's definitely been a banger set of games. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed all of them and all of those clutches. Massive shout out to Yoshi as well. She was just absolutely popping off. But yeah, from us, that is just about it. Huge thank you as well to our sponsors. That is ZQ Racing, Quantum Energy Drink, Ubisoft, and of course, Computer Alliance. Thank you, Pi, as well, for joining me for yet another fantastic week of Women's League. And myself and the production team of XP Esports bid you goodbye till next week. Take it easy.